Hey, thanks for the question. You know, this administration is lined up 10 deep to strip away about 100 years of labor progress. What we really need is we need a Democrat in the White House to reverse that. And the way to start is to have a president who can actually pronounce the word union. As president, the first thing I would do would make the Employee Free Choice Act the law of the land. You know, I think we forget something really important. The reason we have, and the only reason we have a strong middle class in this country is because of labor. Just give me an example. In 1973, 26% of the workforce belonged to unions. That was the last time middle-income wage earners were able to keep pace with the cost of living. Today, just 12% of the American workforce belongs to a union. And the spending power of a paycheck is actually lower now than it was in 1973. You know, I got elected when I was 29 years old for one simple reason: labor. I was the kid who couldn't possibly win running against an incredibly popular incumbent who had all the money. But 2 months before Election Day, labor endorsed me, and my whole political life changed. You guys are to blame. And every day I remember that. In the battles we've won in raising minimum wage, opposing new trade agreements without strong labor standards, opposing Social Security privatization, protecting Davis-Bacon, and in the fights that we will win, such as enacting the Employee Free Choice Act. In the area of health care, my highest priority after ending the war in Iraq will be health care and education. We're spending more than $100 billion a year on Iraq. And the tax cut for the top 1%, that's those people who make an average of $1.4 million a year, is costing the rest of us $85 billion a year. Imagine what we could do, or I could do as your president, with $185 billion a year in the area of health care and education. I'll give you a few examples. The first thing I'd do as president would convene all the stakeholders in health care: labor, business, the insurance industry, the healthcare industry, and say, folks, look, my goal is universal health care, and we're going to get it. I give you an opportunity to go out and come up with the best options you can provide for. Give me the best comprehensive plans for full coverage of every American. But I'm going to demand universal health care. I would take 4 steps immediately without waiting for anybody. First, I would cover every single solitary child in America. Second, I would focus on prevention, treatment, simplification, and modernization. If we do that, the experts point out we could save $100 billion a year just doing that. Third, I would lower health care costs for employers and provide catastrophic coverage. Why? Well, premiums have gone up 87% since the year 2000, 4 times the rate of wages. So what are employers doing? They're putting the pressure on you. They're cutting your benefits. They're not eating it. You're all on the front lines of this race to the bottom, and we have to stop it. We should help employers, or any employee association that provides health care for all employees, by covering catastrophic health care costs for active and retired employees and their families. The fourth thing I would do is stop the insurance company from discriminating against pre-existing condition, people with pre-existing conditions. You know, the government should be in the business in the area of jobs, of creating jobs, not exporting them. That's why I've opposed new trade agreements that fail to contain adequate labor and environmental standards. But let's be honest about it, folks. The best trade policy in the world is not going to help us unless we have the best trained, the best educated, the best equipped workers making the products that the rest of the world needs. What that means? It means investing in education, healthcare, new energy technologies, in bridges, roads, and ports. All of that, all of those things will keep American workers the most productive and the best paid in the world. I would make a 5-year, $50 billion investment to make us the world leaders in clean energy technology as your president. A greener, cleaner economy can not only be the source of hundreds of billions of dollars in new technologies, it can provide good, high-paying jobs with good futures. I'll invest in our crumbling infrastructure. We have to ensure that the Minneapolis bridge collapse isn't repeated. You know, the Federal Highway Administration estimates there are 594,000 bridges in this country. 150,000 are rated what they call structurally deficient or functionally obsolete. It will take at least $9 to $10 billion a year over 20 years. I would do $18 to $20 billion over the next 10 years to bring the existing bridges into structural and safety compliance. If we wonder where the good paying jobs are going to come from that build the middle class, look at the work that needs to be done. From engineering to construction, the core jobs that can build and sustain our middle class will be in demand if we invest in infrastructure. These jobs will pay an average between $50,000 and $80,000 a year. That's the way to build a middle class. Thank you.